So walked into Dick's Sporting Goods and oh my god, it's my baby. Ah, he's so handsome, y'all. And that fish is beautiful. Morning stroll with the guys. That's what we've been doing. Strolling. Poor thing can't fish, y'all. He's just laying out in the sun. He don't know what to do. Oh, explain it to me. You gonna make it, huh?
What's going on, YouTube? Here's another tournament vlog that I got for you guys. This is actually the end of practice for the third stop. I almost say it second there. The third stop of the FLW tour. We are here at Lake Lanier in northern Georgia, and I think fish is gonna be good this time, folks. I think it's gonna be another good tournament. Of course, Harris Chain was good for everybody else, not so much B.Lat, but it was still good. That's the way it rolls sometimes. I think we're gonna have another good event here. I'll tell you a little bit about my practice. Didn't do any filming or anything during practice this time like we did last time. It was kind of rainy the whole time we practiced. Weather was kind of nasty, and I don't think you guys know it, but I actually don't have a real camera, so I couldn't really pull out my phone in the rain and try to get you guys much footage. But here's the lowdown of what's going on Lanier. It is early part of March. The fish are predominantly in pre-spawn mode, and they're actually really early pre-spawn, like really early. Like, I think it warmed up a couple weeks ago. That busted up a lot of those deep winter schools, and then the last couple weeks ago it kind of digressed back to the normal March weather. We're getting like days where the weather is in the 50s to 60 degrees, lows in the 30s and 40s at night. Of course, the night before the tournament, I think tonight's gonna be low in the 20s, I think, or right around freezing. So what's happened is that after all those winter schools broke up and moved shallow, it's a lot of the fish kind of fell back now, or frozen wherever they were. There's not any more fish coming up shallow, and there's a lot of fish out there deeper offshore. And I kind of didn't catch on to that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't catch on to that until the very last bit of practice. I spent most of my time fishing shallow. As many spotted bass as I've caught over my life, I've actually never really pre-spawn fish for spotted bass. I always fish for largemouth at home during the pre-spawn, just because our lake's set up really good in the spring for largemouth fishing. You usually get a lot of rain, the creeks muddy up, it puts those fish in position. So I've always had more experience largemouth fishing. Well, here at Lanier, the spots outweigh the largemouth by far. There's more spotted bass habitat. It's just a better spotted bass lake. And I messed up the first couple days of practice by probably spending a little bit too much time shallow, even in the clear water, and maybe a little bit too much time looking for that gem in the stain water that I don't think is really gonna happen this week. So now we're going to one of my buddies' house. I'm riding over to one of my buddies who is absolute Lanier freaking hammer. Probably one of the best spotted bass fishermen in the Southeast, real talk. Not just trying to talk him up because he's one of my buddies. He really is. He knows what he's talking about. If he tells you or says anything about spotted bass or Lake Lanier, really spotted bass in general, you probably want to listen to that. So we're gonna go over and hang out at his house a little bit this afternoon, and maybe he'll kind of shed some light for you folks about the mystery of spotted bass in the Southeast. All right, so here we are. We're at Rob's shop here in Georgia, and Rob's got a little rigging to do. I'm pretty much done rigging for today. When you kind of not really sure what you need to do, I'm gonna try to keep it as simple as possible. 3-4 rods, couple reactions, couple things to drop on them if I see a few on the graph. And that's it. But Rob has got it figured out. He's getting everything all lined up.
I don't know if it's completely figured out, but I'm always going to be the guy that's the last to get your stuff rigged up.
I don't know.
But we're going to rig up a few spinning rods. We're going to rig up a few casting rods. It's going to be windy tomorrow. Very windy. So
very windy. A little choppy out there.
Yes,
most likely.
There's a chance to maybe get a little wet tomorrow.
I bet.
Hope we don't, but it's going to be pretty rough, depending on what part of the lake you're going to.
Exactly. Rob, tell them, like, well, I know we've been talking a lot, but pre-spawn spotted bass, like, of course, I talked to Rob. We've been kind of talking with each other the last couple tournaments, and I actually don't know hardly anything about pre-spawn spotted bass fishing. So you guys out there just spotted bass fishing in your lake, your home lake. I don't know where you fish, Lake Hartwell, Lake Russell, Lake Lanier, wherever your home waters are. Is there like, there's got to be like one thing, like just one simple tip that everybody should know about fishing this time of year? It's got to be.
Yeah, I mean, there is. I mean, a spotted bass to me is it's a very unique species of the bass family. I mean, obviously with smallmouth and largemouth, but there's a lot of different types of, I guess I would say, subspecies of spotted bass. You know, you go in certain parts of the southeast, you're going to have some that live very shallow, live in muddy water, you know, in Alabama, stuff like that. We do have some of those around here too, but when we're talking clear water spotted bass, you know, our clear water lakes in South Carolina, you know, North Georgia, even some in North Alabama, you know, these fish, they live in deep water. They like to eat herring and other types of shad. When they, you know, just like all spotted bass, they're super aggressive, and they're even more aggressive, you know, obviously in pre-spawn. But one thing is that they do is sometimes they'll spawn a little bit earlier, but some of the biggest ones spawn a lot later than people realize. Most of the time when most of your visual sight fishing and spawning's done, your biggest spots are still in that pre-spawn mode. So, you know, they're a very interesting fish. But one tip that I would give somebody for fishing pre-spawn spots, look a little bit deeper than you normally would look for other pre-spawn fish. You know, for them, sometimes shallow may be 20 foot, depending on the clarity of the water. So look for stuff like that. They like to eat moving baits a lot in the springtime. So it's a good way to cover water quick and catch some big fish too. The biggest spotted bass that I've ever caught was right here on Lake Lanier, 7 pounds, and I caught it on a jerkbait in the spring. So it's a
7 pounder.
7 pounder.
7 pounds.
That's Cody Myers status. That's probably a little one to Cody, but
7 pounds.
That is that's a big one. We haven't seen any that big in a few years, but there's a lot of fives, a lot of 5.5
6s in maybe.
You know, I think Cody, they call 7 pounders out where he lives at, but
I don't know.
That was the biggest one I caught. But like I said,
I'm still getting jacked over 3 pounders, and he's over here talking about 6s and 7s and 8s.
I don't know about all that. I will be getting jacked over 5 3-pounders tomorrow.
5 3-pounders, I'll be so I'll be so giddy. It's not good, but the lake is fishing probably pretty good though, isn't it? When you say
the lake is fishing good, there's a lot of different stuff going on right now. You know, some guys are saying it's going to take some really big bags. I think there's going to be some real big bags caught, but when the dust settles, my prediction is if you got somewhere in that 13 to 15 range, you're going to be pretty good for making, at least for making the money cut. You know, 15 plus, you'd probably be in the, you know, getting into the weekend cut. So we'll just have to see how it plays out.
Cool. So for you that don't know, Rob he's an awesome fisherman, painter, and taxidermist. Check out some of this stuff, some of the wood ducks and waterfowl stuff he's done before. Right here. Hope you can see it. I don't know if there's enough light on there so you can see it. The replica. Did you paint that too, Rob?
I did.
Paint a whole bass. A whole
all these
10-pound bass. Where? All these, painted all these too? That's a real one right there, dude. That thing looks like it's alive. I can hear her running. Going to the paint shop. Oh. What color you call that, Rob?
Bluegill.
Bluegill. Rob, master painter.
Little herring action there.
Blue heron. If that ain't a blue heron, I hadn't seen a blue heron ever before. So we got That's a Lucky Crab 100. Strike King. That's a Spro.
Yep.
That's a DT series, I guess. Right there.
16.
DTs. All kind of stuff in here.
There's some couple more herring.
Oh yeah.
Probably a little hard to see.
Mega
light,
bass.
low.
No, it's actually we see it pretty good. Mega bass. You paint mostly herring stuff, obviously, right?
Oh yeah, we paint all kinds of stuff. A lot of herring, a lot of bluegill.
Oh, that's really good. See, he just uses that and then he just goes over here to the station and just paints it. He's like, oh yeah, I think I want to paint a crawdad today. And then he paints it brim. Cool. Look at all this stuff. So this is all the stuff you're gonna paint. Right
No,
here.
it's all just my backup.
Just backup stuff.
And things. I mean, all my boat tackle.
Dang, that's the old WeRs, right?
That's a shallow water. Those
Yeah, you don't see it. Yeah, you don't see that. A shallow water WeR.
Shallow water.
We used to throw that a lot back in the day, and it just went away.
Special baits, right there.
Yeah,
Those two specifically.
It just went away. Like, just don't use them anymore.
Yeah, I keep all the boat tackle, crankbaits organized for the year, but this is all different things that you might only use every once in a while, but you gotta have them. So
stuff like this, I know people are all into the jointed wake baits and swim baits now. Like that's a hot commodity for people.
Especially in herring country.
Yeah, even if you don't catch them on it, like everybody wants one. That paint right there has to be expensive. It's got like purple and reds and all kind of stuff in it.
A lot of different shades to it.
How long you been painting, dude?
I've been painting for about 12 years. You can check them out right there.
That's where y'all need to go if you want to get some of Rob's stuff, some of his paint jobs. Taxidermy.
I do some replica paints. Replica mounts. I don't do any skin mounts or anything, but if you guys have old skin mounts and want to get repainted, I do that. And also paint new replica mounts. I just kind of do it when I have time. Obviously the tournament season and and guiding is a top priority. But when I have some time, I still paint a little bit. It's something I enjoy doing. But just kind of get to them when I can.
That's awesome, dude. There you go, right there. Extreme Lure Creations. All right, there. That one might magically just be. That one might magically just be on one of my rods tomorrow, and we're in spotted bass lake. That is. Oh. So as usual, Rob and I got so involved in talking, I forgot to do an outro for that video. And if you'll notice, I'm back at home in my shop during the FLW Tour practice. Wednesday, we have an off day, and Lanier is so close that I drove back home and surprised my wife with a visit home. So I'm going to sleep in my bed tonight with my wife, take my little boy to school in the morning, get something good to eat, and then head back up to Lanier. And hope this tournament kicks off well. It's a place that sets up the way I like to fish. Kind of maybe got off on the wrong path in practice, but I'm going to see if I can recover. But you guys make sure you follow Rob Jordan on Instagram. If you're ever in the area and you want to catch some big Magnum spotted Lanier bass, like you're going to see in this event, probably one of the best events you're ever going to see in the FLW Tour, probably reach out to him on social media. Look at his website if you guys ever want any baits painted. He's probably one of the nicest guys, one of the best spotted bass fishermen in the country. No joke. Not saying that just because we're buddies. He really is. Knows a lot. Has a lot of knowledge in that area. So check him out. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. I appreciate all you guys' support and always following me and commenting on my videos. I am out.